Now, after the Grave Order on HAAwk 2, all the theorists from all around the world let out an audible "what the fuck?" And then they either try to answer a question or ignore it completely. But what if I told you that all of the recent content of FNAF, including this Grave Order, have been pushing us towards the true answers of this franchise all along? You see, this video is either gonna be a home run or a complete miss. But I'm confident in my abilities that I'm on the right track. And if I am right, then "we were wrong" is an accurate statement for the thumbnail. Before we move on to who dies first, I think it is very important to find out when the MCI happens in the first place, as I think that will be very crucial in trying to find out the order of the murders. Now, previously our collective theory was something like this. Grandchild dies in 1983, it makes William go insane and kill Charlie. 2 years later after that he kills 5 other kids, for no reason, and Golden Freddy is the last. And as you may know, this does not comply with the Grave Order in HAAwk 2, no matter how established it may be. Not to point out that the theory is full of holes and doesn't actually make that whole lot of sense. Because if Crying Child is the first death in the entire franchise, before anything happens, what did he see to be so scared of the animatronics? Why was William working on the Sister Luckish animatronics if he had no reason to by this point, therefore watching over his kid with monitors? Why is it that in Midnight Motorist, a minigame after Charlie's death, that Crying Child is alive and he escapes his room to go to that place again? Oh, a lot of people say that he saw William helping a fellow employee into a suit. Well, this scene happens during the game when Crying Child is crying his eyeballs out because of how terrified he is. Oh, and also people suggest that the escapist in Midnight Motorist is actually Michael. Well, yeah, let's ignore the fact that there's a guy with the same shirt and text color as Michael sitting on the couch watching TV, which is the most Michael thing to do. But let me tell you something that hasn't been mentioned before at all. The week before. 100% confirmed canon book by Scott Cawthon is about Ralph, the infamous phone guy, and his last week at Freddy's. I'm saying he's dead. You see, Phone Guy has been working Freddy Fazbear's since the days of Fredbear's Family Diner. If there's a guy who could know something, it's him. And let me tell you, he knows something. His daughter's age. And you might be saying, what does that have to do with anything? Well, let me tell you. When I was reading through my favorite FNAF book ever, because it was actually related to something and gave us more answers than any other FNAF book ever had, I came across this page. And I have to tell you, this thing inspired this whole video. You enter the code and are prompted to press 1 to listen to a new message. You do so, and the message begins playing. It takes you a moment to realize you're listening to your own voice.
Hello, welcome to your first security shift. I'm taping this message to help you get settled on your first night and prepare you for your new and exciting career path. First, here's a greeting from our management. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to a property or person. Upon discovery of damage, or if death has occurred, the missing persons report will be filled within 90 days.
You hang up. You know the rest. It's strange to listen to a recording of yourself, especially one from so long ago. If you remember correctly, your daughter had just been born. Now, we don't know for sure when FNAF 1 takes place, but one of the most accepted dates by the community is 1993. And considering Ralph was nice enough to tell us that his daughter is 11 years old during the events of FNAF 1, if we go back 11 years, we learned that people had to fill a missing persons report in 1982 to 1983. But seriously, if this detail doesn't tell you that the MCI has happened before or when Crying Child's death takes place, I don't know what will. Okay, now that we know when the murder takes place, let's talk about motives. So if the MCI happens before Crying Child's death, what is William's motive? Was he just a psychopath from the beginning? Well, that would be an easy answer, but according to Steelwool, it's also the wrong answer.
Try not to set out to make a cool looking villain, you know? Go make a monster that have a reason for it.
You see, there's a character that has picked up the theorist's attention a lot lately, but we are not sure where to exactly fit her into the plot, but you cannot undermine how many references have been given to them. I'm talking about Clara Afton. Her appearance in Security Breach as head of the table of the Afton family has had me very confused. And honestly, I'm not very alone on that. Now, I have talked about this exact matter on previous videos, but if you didn't catch them, how dare you? Now, something that has been the focus of FNAF HAAwk 2 is the Fall Fist Fire, and it seems like Steelwool's emphasis on it is supposed to mean something for the plot. Well, maybe it's supposed to build up to a motive for William Afton. Maybe the Fall Fist Fire is the beginning of everything for William Afton. Maybe Fall Fist Fire, no matter how it happened, which is something we're gonna learn about in Secret of the Mimic, I imagine, caused the death of Clara Afton. Just think about it. She's not there in FNAF 4 to watch over Dave. She's not there in the books. She's not there anywhere. But she has always been a present force in the puzzle. But I know what you're saying. Okay, cool assumption. So Miss Claire Afton dies and then William goes insane and kills kids because of that? Well, no. I think this is where Seeker of the Mimic will come into play, ladies and gentlemen. We've always had this idea that the Mimic is the entity that has been copying William's actions, and is basically trying to be like Purple Guy. And I'm not questioning that because I fear for my life. But what I am questioning though is, why does he copy William at all? Well, I would like you to take your attention to the Seeker of the Mimic trailer. In Tales of the Pizzaplex, hey, wait, hold on, don't leave. 2 groups of 3s were sent to get the Mimic by Fazbear Entertainment, but they don't come back. I'm saying they're dead. And this is also visible in the trailer. Fazbear Entertainment employees are killed and stuffed. And in the trailer, we learned that Fazbear Entertainment afterwards takes the most rational decision ever. They only send 1 employee, us, the player. Now, John FNAF has talked about this in his video, and he has suggested that we play as Henry Emily, someone who knows about the animatronics and what they are capable of, someone who creates the mexes to try to stop the Mimic. But then I went to the comment section, and one comment in particular catch my eye. Well, maybe we play as William Afton. Such brilliant and wise words from whoever they might have been. I mean, come on, he's also someone who's been established to know the animatronics. Someone who would definitely also go on a suicide mission like this, because, let me remind you, his wife is dead. He doesn't care anymore. He's angry and he's reckless, and he would definitely sign up for something like this. I mean, Mex's icon is a purple bunny. How could something like this not scream, Afton made me, by the way? I believe that in this game, we're not gonna only learn about the secret of the Mimic. We're gonna learn about the secret of the man who we're playing as.
Go make a monster that have a reason for it.
I believe that throughout the secret of the Mimic, we will learn about the past of the Mimic. Yeah, no shit. And how a man's suffering was inflicted into the metal to create something new. How this AI carried semblance of life and was acting like Edwin's son in a sense. And William, seeing this, would have an idea. Would have a theory, if you wouldn't mind. What if he could create that? What if he could use the secret of the Mimic, the agony, the code, to create life itself? What if, with this way, he could bring back his wife? Maybe this relationship between William and the Mimic is almost reversed, with William being the first to try to copy its design. It's actually poetic in a way how they both mimic each other in a sense, and it gives the name a whole new meaning. But I'm curious, what do you think about this theory? Do you think I'm right, or do you think I'm going too far with the assumptions? Actually, I believe I'm on the right track or something, but I'm very excited for Secret of the Mimic to see how wrong I was and cry myself to sleep. Okay, now that we have a motive, and now that we know when it takes place, let's move on to the actual order. You see, we've always tried to put either Charlie or Cassidy for the first death, because narratively, they do the most out of everyone. But in doing so, we have forgotten how Chica is screaming in the corner over there saying,
I was the first. I have seen everything.
We've always brushed it off as, oh, she's the first of the MCI. But what would that do for the story? Let me tell you, absolutely nothing. Okay, Bonnie is the first of the MCI. What did that change? You see, there has to be a reason why Scott emphasizes multiple times that Chica is the first. Why the Grave Owner in HAAwk 2 shows Cassidy as the last death of the MCI. There has to be a reason, and let me tell you, I think there is. First of all, I think Chica being the first is supposed to tell us something not about Susie, but about Charlie and Cassidy. Let me explain. Let's start with something I've already mentioned in a previous video. In Midnight Motorist, there is these set of footprints outside of Crying Child's window that I believe belong to Golden Freddy, because of the toes. And considering that this minigame is later that night, the night of Charlie's death, then 2 + 2 = Charlie's the last death, problem solved. But from a narrative standpoint, why does he kill Charlie at all? Well, we already have a motive for MCI. He's trying to recreate Jackie, therefore killing the kids and using the agony of the act alongside with the code to find the secret of life. Escalating every kill to make it more agonizing than the last one to finally get what he is looking for. Actually, with this idea, it makes sense why Cassidy is the last one and why she is so different from the rest. Because she had the most agonizing death out of all of them with being spring-locked to death. But that doesn't explain why Charlie gets killed. I mean, he doesn't even stuff her into his suit or anything. Honestly, when I was researching, this was the point that stumped me. I had assumptions, but I didn't have a proof or evidence for any of them. Until I changed my perspective on a wound first inflicted on me. Now, the meaning of this line has been one of the mysteries of FNAF, with many people taking in the literal meaning of, he killed my daughter. But I recommend that you listen to this line again.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create, as if what he had already done wasn't enough. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this.
Now, I don't know about you, but if someone kills my daughter, I would make them bleed out instead. That's why I think we've been looking at this line in the wrong way. So what I believe he means by a first wound inflicted on me is how William betrays him by making their shared projects and dreams into a vessel for nightmare. How he uses his creations for good to create monsters. How he makes a place of fantasy and fun into his playground for nightmares and terror. All he can do is make a security puppet for his own daughter and shut Freddy Fazbear's down in the hopes of stopping him. Not knowing that with doing so, he pissed them off. He got in William's way and he was about to pay for it with his daughter's life. We should not underestimate his insanity. He shouldn't have taken any risks, but he let it bleed out to cause all of this.